Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2019. Welcome to Whitewater State Park. Back on the trail that I showed you earlier in the year. I think it was in June. Trust you had a happy end to December. Whatever you happen to celebrate during that holiday time, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or I don't know, whatever. For my part, I had a very merry and happy Christmas. Santa was good to me. Among other things, he brought me a macro lens, which I'm trying to use sometime. Most likely going to use it in the spring, which of course is a little ways away yet. Flower pictures, bug pictures, various things like that. So that's going to be fun. It's also supposed to be a really sharp and good lens in its own right, 100 millimeter. So I might get a chance to try it out a little bit before I use it as a macro. So anyway, it's January 1st, 2019. Looking back on 2018, it's going to go down in my memory as being the year I was diagnosed with diabetes. Diabetes is a horrible disease. There's probably worse diseases I could have, but yeah, it's a condition that could potentially take my extremities, could affect my organs, take away my sight, which of course as a photographer is very important to me, and could eventually kill me. But the amazing thing is that in the process of dealing with the disease, I'm actually in better shape now than I've been since the 70s. That's a long time ago. So it ain't all that bad. I mean, it ain't all bad. Some of the things it's done, of course, is I'm on a better diet now. I dropped 50 pounds, which was about a quarter of my total body weight as I started this journey. My blood pressure is well within reasonable limits. It was always borderline, if not a little bit too high. I've been able to turn that big negative into a positive, a very big positive. Who knows what it's going to do to me long term, but at least in the short term, in this first year, it's actually been a big benefit. Who knows what it's going to do long term? It may shorten my life eventually, but hey, I'm 66 years old. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. Yeah, I hope to live another 20 years or so. My dad is 97 and still going. So, you know, who knows? I did have an uncle who had diabetes, and he ended up having some amputations and stuff like that, but he lived to the ripe old age of 90 before diabetes took his life. So just take it one day at a time is the best I can do. But trying to live life to my fullest, and like I said, I've got a new lease on life. I was getting to the point where I was wondering how many more boundary water strips I was going to be able to physically do. I know my times are numbered, but I think that number is a lot bigger now than it was a year ago. simply because I've gotten in the better shape, which I should have done a long time ago. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Can't dwell on the past, gotta look forward to the future. I have been doing a good job of keeping things under control. The three things of diet, exercise, and medication seem to be working just fine. My glucose has been staying down. I also went in, had a checkup with the doctor. He calls me his model patient. He's still very amazed at how quickly things got under control. I mean, 2/3 of it was me with the diet and the exercise. The other third was the medicine. Yeah, he's real happy with my progress. It's pretty cold out here today, but definitely could be colder. I've experienced a lot colder New Year's days than this. According to my car thermometer, it was about 10 degrees when I left it this morning, which translates to, I believe, about 11 below Celsius, if I did the math correctly. Somewhere in that neighborhood. So, cold. Thankfully, it's not very windy at the moment. Every once in a while there's a gust and whatever, but maybe I'm just protected here from it. But it's not as windy as it could be, so the wind chill isn't bad. As you can see, the sun is kind of out. It's not bright skies, but it's I mean, it's not fully out. There's some clouds in the way, but it's still pretty bright out here. And with all this walking and everything, my body is getting warm. My fingers, of course, are getting cold, but I got some of those hand warmers in my gloves. It's keeping them from getting too bad. And yeah, so it could be a lot worse. But it is cold out here. Here's the valley again. There's my car down there. I parked by the bridge and just came up along the I think it's the Valley Trail, and then up along the Dakota Trail and up along the bluffs here. So, trail that I did in reverse on that other video that I mentioned earlier. And part of the reason I came out here, I mean, obviously I wanted to come out for a hike. I wanted to wish everybody a Happy New Year and stuff like that. But part of the reason I chose this place to come is I wanted to get a decent picture of this old tree here. I got a picture of it back on that other video back in June or whenever that was that I came out here. But at that time there was a lot of green foliage around it, so you couldn't really see the tree very well. And I knew this time of year it would just show up a lot better, and it would make a lot better picture. So I was hoping more snow around it, but I think it's going to be cool as it is. I just got to find the right angle and get the picture. But when I was out here in June, I was thinking that tree was completely dead, but now I see it's still hanging on. It's got some foliage on it still. Obviously it's a cedar, so evergreen, but of course this time of year they get kind of dull looking, even though they're quote evergreen. It's still a shade of green, I guess. But anyway, I'm going to work on getting an angle on this thing that it can really stand out, and I'll get back to you. So like I said, the intent is to shoot this guy. I'm going to do it kind of from this angle, although I do have the camera down low. I don't know, I haven't actually scoped it out yet, but I'm really liking this light today because it's nice. It's sunlight, but it's nice, and it's filtered sunlight, so that's really cool. So no hot spots, those type of things. This would be a wonderful day for taking pictures of a waterfall, actually. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a shallow depth of field, because I want to blur out as much as possible the background and just make the tree itself sharp. And but I got to scope this out on the see what it looks like through the viewfinder here yet, and then once I get the final setup, I'll tell you what it is. Yeah, that was something I wanted to accomplish, was to get that picture. I think it's going to work out. Of course, you never know until you get it on the big screen and actually start working with it. But like I said, everything, the lighting, the direction of the lighting, I lucked out on that. I didn't do any research ahead of time to figure out what angle it was going to be. But definitely a nice angle on it, nice soft lighting, but not, you know, dismal either. And so I think that's going to work well. So a couple of things I accomplished today, apart from just getting out and about and on a hike. Wished you Happy New Year and Merry whatever. Took the picture I wanted. Now there's one other thing I wanted to take care of, and that's this thing called a steak. Show us your steak challenge. Now, I was recently tagged by my friend. Well, it's getting a bit dubious whether he's my friend or not, because he keeps tagging me on these things. No, just kidding. Never met him before, but or I never met him off of YouTube. Never met him in person, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But love his YouTube channel, and he's one of the frequent commenters on my channel, so I think if we ever met in person, we would definitely hit it off. It's just that he's over in England, I'm over in US. Chances of getting together, not impossible, not zero, but not all that high either. But be nice to meet him someday, and someday I'm going to have to pay him back for all these challenges he keeps plugging me with. Anyway, the Show Us Your Steak challenge. I had actually avoided watching any of the videos. I mean, they've been popping up all over the place, but I had been avoiding watching them. But then, as soon as I got this challenge, then Rhialobran referred me back to the person who started the whole thing, and I can't remember his name offhand. But anyway, I went back and I checked out what it was all about, and so I decided to go ahead and accept the challenge, although with some major changes. Of you who have watched my channel for a while will know that I don't really cook. Yeah, I boil water for freeze-dried meals, for oatmeal, stuff like that. I do the pasta sides once in a while, but you may have noticed I haven't done a cooking video, a real cooking video at all. Now, it's not that I don't cook or can't cook. I can. I've done a lot of cooking in my day. I was in Scouts for 7 years as a boy, probably about 25 or more as an adult. So I've done my share of outdoor cooking and indoor cooking as well. But it's not something I enjoy doing. It's especially when I'm on a trip like this, other people kind of live to eat, and that's fine. They, or you could say they live to cook. I cook to eat to live. So that's why I don't do a lot of cooking, real cooking. I like to have something that's quick and easy to prepare and clean up from, so I can get on with my whatever activity it is I'm going to get on with. So anyway, for that reason, plus the fact that I don't really have any place readily available where I can go and do outdoor cooking, especially this time of year. I mean, I suppose I could go over to the picnic ground, sweep the snow and ice out of it, light a fire, cook up a steak or whatever real quick. But, that's not real. That wouldn't be real interesting. Might be a little bit more doable in the summer, but this time of year, there may be some places around that I'm not aware of where I could hike in a little ways, set up a, light a fire, do some cooking, that type of thing. But I'm not really aware of those kind of places. I definitely can't do that in a place like the state park. They really frown on you just starting a fire in the woods somewhere. So those are two reasons I'm making big changes to this thing. And the third and final one is, as it relates to steak in particular, is that with my diet and everything, red meats are basically off the menu. I can have some, but small portions. I can't cook up a slab of steak and eat it. I'd only be able to eat a small portion of it, and at the same time I eat that, it would have to be accompanied by a good portion of fruit and vegetables too. So for those reasons, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not going to cook steak. I'm not going to cook anything. I'm going to show you my apple. A lot more healthy for me. So it's snack time, so I'm going to eat into my apple and then get on to what the real reason for the whole show is your steak challenge is all about. So what the challenge is all about, really, primarily, is to increase exposure, discussion, whatever, about mental health. So, kind of like the ice bucket challenge wasn't really about getting people freezing cold. It was about raising awareness, or I believe it was ALS. So this challenge isn't so much about cooking steaks as it is to talk about men's mental health. So I've been thinking a lot about that subject since I was tagged and found out what it was all about. And what I thought could actually end up being an hour-long video, but I'll just try to touch on some points. I'm no expert, other than being a man, and I haven't had any major mental things, but everybody from time to time gets to the point where things are getting to them, getting on top of them, seem to be getting out of control, and you get that situation too long, you start despairing, you start really wondering how you're going to get out of it. And unfortunately for some people, they get to the point where they think the only way to get out of something is to end their life and get out of things altogether. And of course that's not the answer. But when you're in that desperate situation, that's what you think. So all I can relate is basically what I do when I get in those situations. Most of the problems are caused when things are happening that you have no control over. And you know, whether it's problems at work, problems in your relationship, you know, whatever. It's you know, you get addicted to drugs and the drugs control you and you don't control them. Alcohol, you know, whatever. So the big thing is the control back, which, you know, is not always that easy to do. But what I do when I get into situations where life just seems to be getting on top of me, out of control, I come out to places like this. One of the reasons I like solo camping and solo hiking so much is that I can get out, it's on my own terms. I'm not having to deal with other people, deal with their expectations of me. Yeah, I'm free to be me. I'm free to have my own thoughts, work out my own problems. The only one that can impede me is Mother Nature. You know, it's very freeing. It's very, you kind of get back to the basics, especially when you go on a long, like when I go on my canoe trips and that, and I'm, you know, all I have to worry about every day is feeding myself with whatever, taking care of myself, taking care of my dog, of course, when he's with me. But I'm not having to worry about what's going on at work, whether I'm hurting somebody's feelings, if I'm, you know, any of those type of things. It's all just me and nature, and get back to the basics of what life is all about. Get back to the real world. I mean, everybody talks about the real world, you know, going back to the real world, and they're usually talking about going back to work and hustle and bustle and all the rest of it. Well, that's not the real world. That's the artificial world. This, my friends, is the real world. This, I mean, this is, you can't get more real than that. That's a make-up world, make-believe. Make-believe that's maybe made into reality, but it's not real. It's not, it's all artificial stuff that man has made. You know, from the buildings that we live in and work in and what have you, to the time constraints we have, to the schedules, to the, you know, you name it, it's all man-made. It's not real. Yeah, it might be stuff that we have to do in order to survive, but it's not real. This is the real world. So just getting out here, getting a taste of being out in the real world, and yeah, what can I say? It's getting back to the basics and getting time away from all the hustle and bustle and just not having to meet other people's expectations. Now, unfortunately, when I do YouTube videos, I get a little bit of, I lose a little bit of that. I start worrying about, you know, I've had people make comments that they don't like the fact that I cut so many of my trips short. You know, various other things. You should have done this, you should have done that. You know, that's part of why I'm going to get away from things, is I can do what I want, not what somebody else expects of me. So I continue to do what I want on the videos, and I kind of shrug off the complaints as much as possible. But yeah, when I want to, I can turn off the camera and just do my own thing and forget about what other people think. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of pressure just living with other people, living around other people. There's all these expectations that are put on a person. And it's really, at least for me, it's best for my mental health if I get away from that once in a while. And again, just get to what I expect myself to do. Okay, now that that's over and done with, it's time to get on with my hike. I'm not going to do a loop this time. I'm doing kind of an out and back type of thing. I think. That's my plan anyway. I accomplished my main goal, my main goals on this trip. Now, so just kind of free to roam around and do whatever. Temperature is supposed to drop today. But it seems to be getting a lot more comfortable. Even all that time that I spent eating my apple, talking to you about mental health and what have you. I was feeling warm. Well, I was feeling comfortable. I don't know if I'd really call it warm, but it definitely wasn't cold. So now I'm going to head out to Coyote Point. I'm going to mention that I didn't expect to see much of anybody out. Well, I didn't expect to see anybody out here today, and I've now seen a couple of groups. There were actually some people at some cars at the group camp, so there's apparently some people staying down there. And I saw a couple walking their dog earlier on, and a couple of hikers out on this trail. So yeah, I'm not the only nut that's out here spending New Year's Day hiking around in the cold. Lots of ice on the trail. I'm glad I have my micro spikes with me. I'm not sure they appreciate me using them on their boardwalk here. Another view of the valley. My car's down there by the river. Again, you can see things a lot more clearly now without the leaves in the way. At Coyote Point again. I'm not going to actually scramble down to the point itself, given the conditions and stuff. Just show you the view from where I am. Now, over here, in the distance here, that's Chimney Rock area over there. Chimney Point, Chimney Rock, something like that. interesting area. There's a couple of caves and tunnels going through that rock. I'll have to take you up there sometime. Not today. Maybe sometime later this year. Take you there. All kinds of hikes out here that I can take you on. But yeah, beautiful day, gorgeous day. Look at that sky. A few clouds. But pretty dang nice start to the year. So now I'm on my way back from Coyote Point. And from here I'm going to just retrace my steps. Although it's now almost lunchtime. So I'm going to find a decent place to sit down and I'll show you my lunch. What a beautiful day. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous day. There's a log over here. Looks like might make a decent place to sit down, have my lunch, maybe talk to you a little bit more, or maybe not. We'll see. You get a little bit extra bonus today. Not only did I show you my apple, now I'm going to show you my cold pizza. Yum. Leftovers from a couple of nights ago. Some good DiGiorno pepperoni pizza. Mamma mia. Good. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. What a fantastic day. Listen. No wind, no noise, occasional car going down the road. I'm so glad I decided to come out and do this today. From the forecast, it sounded like it was going to be brutal out here. Yeah, right. Of course, that's the Weather Channel. Most of those guys are from Atlanta. To them, it would be brutal. To them, it would be brutal. But it made it sound like it was going to be decreasing temperatures and strong winds, horrible wind chills. Here I am, no gloves, Ma. Oh, Ma, no gloves. Okay, I wouldn't last all day with my hands out like this, but so nice and peaceful. No stress. No stress. Okay. Hands are going back in the gloves. I'll concede that it's that cold. Still not brutal. Not brutal by any means. Did you hear the geese? Okay, I managed to take a few macro shots with my new lens where I stopped to have lunch. So I'll share them at the end of the video. I'm gonna absolutely love, actually I already love that new lens of mine. Oh man, the things I'm gonna be able to do now that I wasn't able to do before. It's just fantastic. Love the lines in the field down there where they're growing. I don't know what they were growing before, but they grow something down there, mostly for the animals. I think it's all for the animals. Wildlife. So deer, geese, whatever. But nice patterns down there. Now I'm back to that tree again. I love that tree for some reason. Well, I know why. It's photogenic. A lot of reasons I like that tree. Anyway, you know, everybody's heard the phrase that life isn't fair. Now look at this poor guy. He, you know, whatever reason, sad, whatever reason, seed happened to land on this rocky outcrop many years ago. Tree didn't ask to be there. Seed didn't ask to be there. That's just where it ended up. But the seed and the resulting tree took advantage of the situation, gleaned as much nutrients as it could from the shelf without much moisture. So obviously it's had a really tough life, but it's clung on to that thing. It doesn't have the smarts to know that life could have been better. It just knows that it's living. And even though most of it is dead now, it's still clinging to life. There's still needles on there, or whatever you call it. It's still carrying on. It's doing what it doesn't know. It doesn't know anything else. Sometimes I think our knowledge is our own worst enemy. We know that life can be better than what we're living. We see other people living better lives, having less problems, or at least they appear to be having less problems. And we start feeling like life wasn't fair to us. That life dealt us a bad hand. But think about this tree, the hand that it was dealt. I don't know how old it is, but I'm guessing it's pretty old. Probably older than me. But it's hanging on there. Clinging on. Living. Half dying, but living still. If the tree can do it, why can't we? Now we're back down to the Valley Trail. And I'm going to take a little side trip here down to the right, because this takes us down to another view of the river. And I love photos and videos of water. So there it is, Whitewater River, pretty much open. Now this is the kind of crossing that they used to have down behind where the visitor center is now. These stone blocks. I much preferred them over what they have now. And like I said, when we had the flood back in, I think it was, can't remember whether that was 2007 or 2008, those blocks, which were like this, were washed out. So that's why they have that pontoon bridge on there now, which I'm not real comfortable with, especially when the water's high. But this bridge, this ford, whatever you want to call it, is nice. But even here, you can see that at one time there was a block that apparently washed down. They must have replaced it. Almost back to the car now. Don't know if there's going to be anything else from here on in or not. I'm going to assume basically not. So I think I'll end this now. So I hope 2019 is your best year ever. Very profitable, very happy, very contented. And remember, get outside, have some me time. That makes all the difference to your health, mentally and physically, emotionally, everything wrapped up together. It's just, as Hike with Mike would say, good medicine. As I would say, the best medicine. So that's it for this video. Remember to view the photos I've taken on this trip, on this outing, and see you on trail. Newbie Mox out. I just remembered there's something else I'm supposed to do with this challenge, and that is to tag 3 more people. Probably the hardest part of any of the challenges is to tag 3 other people. Who do you think are still going to stay friends with you after you do it? Who do you think is actually going to follow through and do it? So anyway, tag number 1 would be Second Chance George. I introduced you to him back in October. when he and I met up at Beaver Creek Valley together. He's had some interesting life experiences, including a health issue that far more serious than my health issue that he's recovered from, and has a whole new outlook on life since it happened. So I think he'll be a good one. Another guy I think is going to be good would be Joe's Neon. Joe's a great guy. He lives out east somewhere, New Jersey or New York, or somewhere around that area. But real fun guy. I really like his outdoor videos, especially he goes kayaking and stuff like that. So I'm not going to hold it against him too badly that he kayaks and doesn't canoe. But anyway, I'm sure he'll do a great job with this theme. And the other one would be Cragdwella, another one who lives out east. Does a lot of backpacking, also does canoeing and kayaking and stuff like that. So I really enjoy his outdoor videos too. Again, all three of those guys cook, so you should see their steaks. If not, just remember this is more about the mental health thing than it is about those three. Second Chance George, Joe's Neon, and Cragdwella. I apologize if any of you have been tagged by other people already. I did check on your channels real quick, and I noticed that none of you had a show as your steak video up yet. So yeah, hopefully you'll do it, and no pressure on you. The original guy was given 2 weeks to get it done. As far as I'm concerned, you can take as long as you want, and really think about what you want to say and how you want to present it. So anyway, now I'm signing off. Hope to again hope you'll give a thumbs up to this video. Sorry about the lack of steak. Hopefully that doesn't turn too many people off. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. All the rest of that stuff, you know the drill. If you watched any YouTube videos at all, you know the drill. I don't need to keep reminding you. So yeah, hope to see you on trail. And even if I don't see you on trail, I hope you get out on trail sometime, somehow, whether it's a watery trail or a dirt trail or whatever. I hope you get out, enjoy the real world, and get to do a lot of it in 2019. So Happy New Year. See you on trail. Nibby Mox out.